Welcome back, my soapy family. Grab your hot coffee, because things on Sobatskloof are getting hotter than a braai fire on a summer's day. We've got lies, threats, and secrets that could sink the whole wine farm. If you're loving the drama as much as I am, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a single bit of the action. Now, let's dive into the chaos. On Monday the 3rd of November, Hermione got the shock of her life when Serena delivered a threat that left her reeling. Meanwhile, Joey was backed into a corner, forced to make some tough choices that could change everything. Junior, ever the protector, started scheming to keep CJ safe from the fallout. Joppy, trying to smooth things over, organized a surprise meeting between the Murray and Brenda's family, hoping to build some bridges. Over at the restaurant, Debbie Lee's pride got the better of her when she stubbornly refused Warren's offer of extra kitchen help, even as she watched CJ struggling to balance being a new father with all the farm's drama. The next day, Tuesday, saw Debbie Lee finally owning up to the kitchen disaster, taking full responsibility for the mess. But the pressure was really on Hermione, who faced an impossible new demand that put her entire family in a tight spot. Choppy's plans for a big family braai to unite everyone were in full swing, while a desperate Veronique started plotting her own survival plan. Brenda, seeing how strained things were, gently urged CJ to spend more time bonding with baby Haley. And over at Gelatinhide, Lally's path crossed with someone from the past, stirring up a jealousy she thought she'd buried. Come Wednesday, Serena's escalating demands had Nena seriously worried about what Joey had gotten himself into. Annette's world was completely turned upside down when a devastating truth finally came to light. Choppy and Junior's well-intentioned plans for CJ and Brenda only managed to create more tension between the two families. Debbie Lee's big decision about the restaurant left Sandy in a real predicament, and Warren was left stunned by a shocking ultimatum. The clash between Junior and CJ over their different visions for the future reached a boiling point just as a familiar face returned to Berg Valley, promising to turn everything upside down. On Thursday, Annette's faith in Serena shattered when she saw her acting out over a deeply sensitive subject. The festive mood on Sobatskloof was ruined the moment Joyce and Gershwin arrived, bringing all their old baggage with them. Warren, trying to get things back on track, gave Debbie Lee a nearly impossible task to handle in the restaurant, pushing her to her absolute limit as she tried to keep everything from falling apart completely. The week ended on a high drama note on Friday, when Joey was suddenly retrenched, and the heavy confrontation that followed led to a surprising, passionate kiss. Over at Gelatinhide, Serena was caught completely off guard when Annette showed up with Du Toit, and the huge fight that erupted left Serena absolutely seeing red. Choppy felt utterly betrayed, convinced the Solomons had planned this humiliation all along. In a quiet moment away from the chaos, CJ held his daughter Haley for the very first time, a moment that made him seriously reconsider his entire future on the farm. Before we get to next week's drama, a quick word from my side. If you're enjoying these detailed recaps, please consider supporting the channel. You can join our membership for exclusive perks, or simply let the ads play for 30 seconds. Every bit helps us keep bringing you the latest from Sobatskloof. The new week started with Lally's loyalties being tested to the limit when she accidentally overheard the dark details of Serena's revenge plans. Peace was short-lived in the Murray mansion when the family was attacked in the study, just seconds before Hermione was about to share a huge secret with them all. Napoleon voiced his deep concerns about Warren to the man himself, but Warren's answers did nothing to calm his fears. Meanwhile, CJ's desperate plan to protect his young family now rested entirely on whether Nena and Joey would agree to help him. Chaos erupted on Tuesday in the Murray mansion during a night of revelations that took a very dark turn. Hermione was ready to come clean to Annette about everything, but Serena had her own twisted ideas. Annette and Du Toit made a shocking discovery at Gelatin Hyde that sent them rushing back to Sobatskloof to try and stop the dark dealings unfolding there. In the end, the real ugly truth was finally revealed for all to see as Serena's mask slipped off completely, exposing her for who she really was. Annette and Lally made a firm decision to protect Sobatskloof, while Choppy, Marco Jr. and Hermione banded together to protect Annette. Everything became too much for Debbie Lee when another kitchen worker resigned and publicly blamed her for everything. At her breaking point, Choppy was there to comfort her, but their moment of solace quickly turned into something much more intimate and complicated. At the same time, Brenda and CJ's young marriage was already showing deep cracks under the heavy weight of everyone's expectations. Hermione's conscience was eating her alive, and she struggled to find the right words to finally talk to Annette. Lally decided it was time to stand on her own 2 feet, on her own terms for once. Annette was completely caught off guard when Du Toit shared his painful truth with her. Debbie Lee confronted Choppy with the stark reality of their situation, while Brenda struggled to cope with her new circumstances. Joyce decided enough was enough and made plans to return to Bergvalley. And to top it all off, Esther came back, and Junior had a very unwelcome message waiting for her. Annette felt she wasn't ready for a full relationship but thought a few casual dates couldn't hurt. Esther caused major drama on Sobatskloof by boldly claiming what she said was hers, and later she brought the police to the farm to back up her demands. Choppy was left puzzled, unsure why Junior was fighting so fiercely for baby Haley, while CJ made all sorts of promises to a skeptical Brenda. Shireen felt a pang of jealousy when Warren's focus wasn't on her, and Debbie Lee finally discovered the full, shocking truth behind the restaurant's ongoing troubles. If these stories are giving you life, show the channel some love with a super thanks donation, or by sharing this video with your friends. It helps more than you know. Hermione gave Annette some pointed advice about Du Toit. CJ decided it was time to move his small family back into the Murray Manor, and Brenda soon discovered just how desperate CJ was to keep Haley close. Hermione's warning and CJ's emotional outburst motivated Junior to shift his focus elsewhere. Napoleon warned everyone to be wary of Warren, while Warren himself confided in Hermione about his big, ambitious dream for the farm's future. Sandy's jokes nearly ruined a romantic date for someone. Gideon Milan made Warren an offer that was almost impossible to refuse. Choppy finally served Veronique with divorce papers and formally asked her to leave the farm for good. Brenda sought Joyce's advice about CJ and Haley, while Gershwin tried his best to stop Brenda from returning to Sobatskloof. Veronique's heart turned to stone after Brenda told her something she'd witnessed, hardening her resolve completely. Devold prepped CJ and Brenda for a court case like no other, but Esther warned them their chances weren't good. Shireen grew confused by Warren's suddenly changed behavior towards her. Annette and Du Toit decided not to ignore their long history together, and Annette even advised Choppy to give Veronique a second chance, not one to go down quietly. Veronique turned around and accused Choppy of having a secret affair, throwing more fuel on the fire. At a family dinner meant to unite everyone, Veronique made a shocking announcement that left them all speechless. Lynn made a surprise entrance and promptly swept Annette off her feet. Warren made his final decision about Gideon's lucrative offer, and it became clear that the Sobatskloof name wasn't the only one being discussed in the deal. In two separate corners of the farm, Choppy and Du Toit both received kisses that were sure to get everyone's tongues wagging. CJ and Esther sat down to discuss the best way forward for baby Haley, and Esther found herself genuinely impressed with CJ's thoughtful plans. Du Toit and Annette grew closer than they'd been in a long time. Meanwhile, Veronique worked hard to ensure Joppy and Debbie Lee didn't get closer, making sure her poisonous words sounded believable enough to cause doubt. Warren invited his workers for a braai and officially gave Napoleon new responsibilities, promoting him on the spot. Your support makes this all possible, guys. If you haven't yet, please subscribe and comment Sobat Skloof down below if you're Team Annette and Dutoit. Dutoit knew just what to say when Hermione and Joppy were within earshot. Veronique, convinced Joppy's plans were all about winning her back, couldn't wait to rub this in Debbie Lee's face. Warren gave Napoleon the equipment he needed to do his new job properly, but then a sudden accident on the farm had everyone quickly pointing fingers, and Joppy was branded as the guilty party before he could even explain. The Murray family said a temporary farewell to CJ and Brenda as they left the farm. Annette and Dutoit were left with a big decision about their next steps in life. A desperate Veronique stole money from Joppy's wallet to buy something she shouldn't. Debbie Lee told Sandy a small white lie to keep her weekend plans with Joppy a secret. In a moment of vulnerability, Warren opened up to Shireen and shared a little piece of his past with her. Dutoit did something completely unexpected, and Annette's reaction was just as unpredictable. Warren spotted something suspicious happening on the farm. He also knew he had to finally be straight with Shireen about the true nature of their relationship. Debbie Lee was forced to tell Shireen the truth about her secret weekend away, a confession that immediately put her right in the crosshairs of a vengeful Veronique. Sandy and Marco were both upset that the truth had been kept from them. Debbie Lee grew anxious now that her secret was out in the open, leaving her future uncertain. Joyce shared her strong opinions on Veronique's revenge plans and what she should do next. Warren confronted a mysterious man on the farm and was shocked to discover how he fit into the bigger picture. Annette shared her deepest fears with Hermione, while Lynn offered Dutoit some much-needed encouragement. Gideon started putting serious pressure on Warren to do something that could force Sobat Skloof onto the property market. A big celebration kicked off in the restaurant, giving everyone a reason to fest, but Marco and Sandy kicked up such a fuss about Debbie Lee and Joppy's relationship that the couple was forced to reconsider everything, and Veronique, seeing something she was never meant to see, immediately started digging for more information, determined to use it to her advantage. And there you have it, my friends. Another week of absolute rollercoaster drama on Sobat Skloof. Can you believe everything that's happening? From Serena's schemes to Veronique's plots, it's never a dull moment. If you enjoyed this recap, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with your fellow soapy lovers, and don't forget to comment down below with your favorite moment. Until next time, remember to support the channel in any way you can, whether it's joining the membership, donating via Super Thanks donation, or simply letting those ads play.